Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Mark Menciardini. Okay, so I'm going to show you something really cool. Now, I get emailed about this stuff all the time, and I'm going to show you how to get your images, like you see here, into an action script template and turn it into something that looks like this. Okay? And I'm going to show you a lot of tips and tricks on how to resize your images and how to make them look all perfect inside the template and everything. So, first of all, though, let me go ahead and just close this template here and go ahead and rerun the action script. And I'm just going to select step 1 and push play. And if you would like to get your own action scripts, you can just head on over to actionuser.com. That's actionuser.com. And there's just a handful of different action scripts that you can use so you can display your images and have them look all 3D and everything. So pretty cool stuff. But I have my greeting card over here. Now let's just say that this is a greeting card that you've made and you want to get it over to the action script so you can turn it into this like 3D card. Okay? Well, normally what we do is we just grab the move tool and click on the image. So grab the move tool, click on it here, click on the image, click and drag over to the action template like this. You might see a little border around your selection here. That's fine. Go ahead and release the mouse. And there it is. It's over on the action script template. But the problem is that it's usually too large in some cases not. It can be really small. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and pretend that the image is just too big. And what do we do now? Well, we need to resize the layer so it fits in the area on the template where we want it to go. Well, here's what we can do. I'm going to come over here to Edit and down here to Free Transform. Okay, so Edit Free Transform. And it doesn't really look like anything has happened yet. That's just because that the image is so big, it's really hard to see the transformation handles. We have to scroll around here and look around the layer. You know, we can grab the shift, click on the shift key on the keyboard and just, resize it down and everything. But there's an easier way to do this, and you can just come up here to over here to View and down here to Fit on Screen. And look at that, boom, Photoshop will just automatically zoom out and detect, the exact area where the transformation handles are. So all I have to do is just move this over, and then I can hold down Shift and the Option key. So that's the Shift key with the Option key. And if you're on Windows, that's Shift and Alt. So I'll hold these two keys down, and then I can resize to center like this. Now, if I don't hold down the Option key, if I don't hold down the Alt key on Windows, if I just hold down the Shift key, it's going to resize to whatever corner, the opposite corner that I've chosen with the transformation handle. So if I select this corner over here, it's going to go to the opposite corner down. But if I like to hold down Option, because then it resizes to center. So watch this, I'll hold down Shift and Option, resize it down to center. And by default, the snap should be turned on. So you can see it snaps right to the guide on the action template. Go ahead and zoom out here a little bit. So you can see that snaps right to the guide there because that's exactly where we want it to be. But it looks like we have a problem here. It looks like that the graphic or the greeting card is a different size than the template. Okay, now this can happen. And I've produced it this way on purpose, just so in case that you might have graphics that don't exactly fit, I'm going to show you how to make those fit. So here's something that you can do, is that you can resize it so it's going just a little bit outside of the action template. And by the way, if you find that the template's sort of jumping around and it's really hard to get a nice precise sizing or movement of the layer, and it's just snapping to the guide and it's really hard to move it around. Well, that's because the snap is turned on. So if you want to turn it off, just go to View and then just turn Snap Off right there. And you can see now it's going to move around a lot smoother. And that's pretty cool. I'm going to go zoom out here, and I'm just going to get a really nice size here. Just going to go a little bit outside of the template guide there. And I'm going to move this up, and that looks pretty good. I have a little excess area coming outside of the grid, but that's okay. I'll show you how to remove that later. That looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm this transformation. Now there's two ways I can do this. I can press the Enter key on the keyboard, or I can click on this little check mark here at the top of the screen there. So I'm going to press the Enter key on the keyboard to confirm that, and there we go. It's all done. Now I do have a little bit of area going outside of the guide, Okay, because we can see just where the gray area here is, that's where we want the greeting card to be. So it looks right when we get to this point here. And so what I'm going to do is just turn this back on. And here's what you can do. You can reselect the top portion or the area on the template where you want the graphic to be. So I'll select the marquee tool and I'll just drag a selection. And oh wait, it's not snapping. So it's not snapping to the guide. Okay, we want to go back up here to view and make sure snapping is turned back on. It's very important that when we are working with selections, when we are working with action scripts, and we do have guides, it's important to make sure that the snapping is turned on for those really precise edits. That way, when we render the actions, that they just look perfect. And so I've drawn a selection around the area where I want the card to be, but I don't want the excess area here to show. Well, what can I do without deleting that? Because I don't recommend anyone ever deleting anything. I like to keep everything non-destructible. So here's what you can do. Come all the way down to the bottom of the layers palette and you'll find a button right here. It's called Add Layer Mask. It's right here, Add Layer Mask. I'll go ahead and click on this. Photoshop will create a little layer mask next to the little layered thumbnail there. And look at that, it's completely disappeared. So I can actually move that around inside if I want to, but I'll have to make sure that I unlink the mask with the contents of the layer. Then I'll click over on the layer thumbnail and then just move the contents of the layer around inside the mask. That's really cool in case I need to do any, sort of little fine adjustment or anything. So there you have it, folks. Now I can just go over to the action palette and click on step 2 of the action script, and then go ahead and run step 2 by clicking on the play button right here. And let's go and see how it looks. All right, there it is. We have a little three-dimensional greeting card there, A6 style, which is an international European style greeting card. So thanks a lot, guys. My name's Mark, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.